Hello friends, welcome back to automationtestinginsider.com. In the last video we are done with TestNG tutorials and from today onwards we'll discuss about Maven. So today I'll talk about introduction to Maven and I'll show you how to set up Maven in your project in Eclipse. Okay, how to download Maven and how to set up the plugins and how to create the project. We'll discuss about it. Okay, so let's get started. So Maven is build and project management tool developed by Apache Software Foundation. Initially, it is released on 13 July 2004, and it is written in Java language and used to build and manage projects written in other languages like C Sharp, Ruby, Python, etc. Okay, it helps to build projects, dependencies, and documentation. Its development process is very similar to Ant. However, it is much advanced than Ant. So Ant is another build tool. Okay, we have Gradle as well. So these are some other build tools. The main feature of Maven is that it can download the project dependencies libraries automatically. Okay, I'll show you. We'll discuss in detail like how it downloads dependencies. So I have created a post on this already. If you go to my blog automationtestinginsider.com, and here we have Maven introduction and setup. So if you go to Selenium tutorial, and here you can find out all the Selenium WebDriver related topics. So these are all Selenium WebDriver. We have TestNG tutorials. Here I have created blog on all the topics, and here we go Maven tutorials. So already I have created a post on this Maven introduction and setup. So this is that post. Okay, so what is build tool? So the build tool is used to set up everything which is required to run your Java code independently. Okay, so here I have given the example of Java code. As we have discussed earlier, like it can manage projects written in other languages as well, right? And it generates source code, compiling the code, and packaging the code to a jar, etc. So this is basic, I would say basic feature of build tool. It generates source code, compiling the code, and packaging the code to jar file. So this is build process, guys. Okay, so Maven is a build project management tool, okay, based on the concept of project object model, POM. Okay, so it is based on POM, contains information of project and configuration information for the Maven to build the project, such as dependencies, build directory, source directory, test source directory, plugins, etc. Okay, so we'll talk about project object model, POM file later on in detail. Okay, so this is not that POM page object model. Okay, this is different. This is project object model. So basically this is based on pom.xml. Probably you might have heard that. Okay, so Maven provides a common platform to perform these activities, which makes programmers life easier while handling the huge project. Okay, so why do we need to use Maven in our project? Okay, so there are some common problems. Okay, and yeah, so problem of multiple jars. So let's say we are using a couple of frameworks in our code. So if you remember, we have used TestNG framework in our code. Since we have done with TestNG tutorials, so we have used TestNG framework in our code. And for instance, Selenium server. So these are some other jar files: Selenium server, TestNG, JXL or POI library, PIO, Apache POI library, etc. So these are different frameworks, right? TestNG we have already used. JXL is to read the data from Excel file. Whenever you're working with whenever you work with Excel sheet, then you might need JXL or Apache POI library. Okay, so for that you require jar files, right? So in order to use this framework within application, I need to include all the required jars in my application. I need to make them available. Okay, so If you remember, for let's say this cross browser demo, so what we have done, we have manually added the plugins, TestNG plugins, right? We have Selenium Java jar files as well to set up this project earlier. So since we are not using Maven, so we have to set up all these jar files uh, manually, right click on this project, and we have build path and configure build path, and adding all the jar files from here. Now when we use Maven, so we don't need to add manually those jar files. Okay, so we can add through pom.xml. So this is sample pom. Already I have created a project, pom.maven test project. So this is Maven pom.xml. So here you can see, anyways, I'll create another project, don't worry about that. So here we have pom.xml. Okay, so here you can see TestNG. I have added dependency of TestNG. So if you add dependency like this, then this is the version of TestNG. The TestNG will be downloaded automatically. You need to just add dependencies in your pom.xml, and when you do control S, automatically it will be downloaded from central repository. We'll discuss like what is central repository, what is a local repository. And yeah, this is one of the problems. Okay, second problem is sometimes we miss out on some jars, sometimes we don't know what jars are needed. So Maven helps us on this aspect. Okay, dependencies and versions. So we know, let's say we have a particular jar and that jar has dependent on other jar. Okay, then I need to make sure all my dependencies are closed or added, right? I need to make sure I have supplied all the required dependencies. Sometimes we don't know like which kind of jar files required. Some of jar files might dependent on some other jars. Okay, so it is very difficult if you do it manually. Maven provides pom.xml, as we have discussed, which is core of any project. This is the configuration file where all the required informations are kept. So this is pom.xml. Okay, and yeah, Maven downloads the dependency jar from central repository. Most of the commonly used libraries are available in this central repository. So this is the link. So let's say suppose you want TestNG Maven dependency, right? So just search in Google TestNG Maven dependency and just open this, the first one. So Maven repository. So this is the central link, central repository of Maven. Here we'll get all kind of jar files, whatever we are needed. Okay, all should be available here, all are available here, right? So Maven downloads the dependency jar from a central repository. So this is central repository where all jar files are available. Most of the commonly used libraries are available in this one. Okay, the user has to configure the remote repository in pom.xml. So dependency, in the form of dependency, we have to configure in your pom.xml to download from the remote repository. Below is the example of configuring a remote repository to pom.xml. Okay, I'll show you how to configure this. What is the usage in Selenium? Okay, so we can create Maven project for writing script and create dependency using pom.xml. Once dependency is set, Maven will download all the dependent jar files automatically, and in future if any update comes from Selenium or TestNG, so it will simply update all the required changes automatically. Okay, we need to just update the version. So suppose let's say tomorrow I may need another version of TestNG, let's say 7. You can see here we have different versions of Selenium TestNG, right? So this is 7.1.0 is available here. So 247 users downloaded already uses. Okay, and these are the beta versions of 7, and this is mostly used 6.4 14.3. Okay, so if you open this, So you'll get dependency like this. So simply what you need to do is you have to just copy this dependency and add this into your pom.xml. So automatically your TestNG will be downloaded. I'll show you how to download, how to add dependency later on. Okay. So yeah. So general phrase used in Maven. Okay. So what are those? We have group ID. So generally group ID refers to domain ID. For best practices, company name is used as group ID. It identifies the project uniquely. So we have group ID. Here you can see we have group ID. While creating the Maven project, you need this information. So we have group ID. Okay. And here you can see in the jar file also, because this is kind of project, right? TestNG. So here we have used group ID org.testng. This is company name, right? I mean the project name. And second one is artifact ID. So what is artifact ID? It is basically the name of the jar without version. So artifact ID is the jar of the name of the jar. Okay, jar file name. And third is version name. So this is the version name. And fourth one is scope. So that is optional. This tag is used to create the version of the project. So these three are very important. And local repository. What is local repository? Maven downloads all the required dependencies and stores in the local repository called M2. So I'll show you. C drive. If you go to users and not public, users, and here we have M2 directory. Okay. So here you will see all the jar files will be downloaded. Okay, this is a local repository. What is Maven build lifecycle? So this is very important and interview point of view as well. Basic Maven phases are used as below. So we have clean, that deletes all artifacts and targets which are created already. Okay. We have clean, and we have compile, used to compile the source code of the project. We have test the compiled code, and these tests do not require to packaged or deployed. So just to test the source code. Package is used to convert your project into a jar or war file. Okay. And finally install the package into a local repository for the use of another project. So this is the complete life cycle of Maven. Now let's have a look how to download and install and set up Maven in your Eclipse. Okay, so first of all we need to download and install we need to download Maven first of all. So to set up Maven, download the Maven's latest version from Apache, depending upon different operating system. So here we have one link from maven.apache.org. So if you are using Windows system, then you have to download this one, 3.6.3 bin.zip. So version of Maven is 3.6.6.3. okay, already actually I have downloaded. So but here I have written all these steps one by one. Okay, so download required as per OS. So you have to download this one and extract the file and place it in C drive. Okay, so you will get file like this. I'll show you like this, Apache Maven 3.6.3 -bin. So simply you have to extract that and just put that file in your C drive program files, and here we have Maven. Okay, so here I have given the path as well. You can give any name, but it's better to give Maven, so you can give name like this. Okay, once we have downloaded all what we need to do is, before starting using Maven, we have to set the couple of environment variables. So how to set up the environment variables? So go to right click on computer, my computer, properties, and here we have advanced system settings. Just click on that, and here we have environment variable. So there are two setup we have to do. The first one is, first you need to set the new variable. Okay, from system variable, here we have system variables. So from here we have to create new. Click on new. Okay, and you have to set up Maven home like this. You have to give variable name Maven home and variable value as your Maven path. Okay, and what next? We have to just click on OK and apply. Okay, click on OK again. Next, we need to add the bin folder to the path. Select the path in the system variable and click on edit. So second one is path, where we have to give our bin folder path. So bin and then semicolon at the end. I mean colon. Oh, sorry, semicolon. Yeah. So we have to give the bin path of our Maven. So that is so these are the two system variables we have to set up. And how to check whether Maven is installed or not? Okay. So what you need to do is, you have to go to command prompt, and we have a command called maven-version. Okay, so that will tell you the version of Maven. So 3.6.3 you can see here. I have given the screenshot as well. Okay, now the another thing is, we have to we are working with Eclipse, right? So we should make sure that we have Maven Eclipse plugin as well. Okay, so generally in today's the Eclipse version, we already have Maven Eclipse plugins. Okay, so how to check that? So if you go to help and we have install new software, just click on that. Here we have already installed link, so just click on that. Eclipse Maven, you can search here. Here you can see M2E Maven integration for Eclipse. So this should be there. Okay, so this is how you can configure Maven in Eclipse. As per the below image, click on already installed. So this is how I have added the screenshots in the same way which I have explained. Yeah, so this is how you can set up Maven in Eclipse. Now I'll create new project. So how to create new project? File, new, and you have to select project, and here you can see in these folders we have Maven, right? So Maven, and here we have Maven project. Just click on next. We are going to create a simple project. Now we have to provide the group ID. So what I'll give, com dot project name, right? So test Maven project, and artifact ID I'll keep the same, or let's give test Maven project. Okay, click on finish. So here you can see my Maven project is created, and I'll get the project structure like this. We have src main Java, src main resources. So we'll keep all our main classes inside this src main Java. Okay, and test related things will add here, src test Java. Resources related will keep over here. We'll discuss in details like what are resources, what kind of files we need to keep inside this, what are the files we need to keep inside the test package. Okay, and this is related to test resources. Okay, and here we have pom.xml. So this is basic structure of pom sorry Maven project. So this is okay, so this is the group id, the project which we have created, right? Maven com.maven test maven project, and this is artifact id. Now I want to add dependency. Okay, so how to add? So here inside project tag we have dependencies tag. Okay, so suppose I want TestNG in this project. Okay, so how to add? So I have added dependencies tag here, and from here this repository you can get these dependencies, right? TestNG dependency. So simply you have to copy and you have to keep inside dependency tag. Control Shift F. Now if you put Control S, here you can see all Maven dependency related, I mean Java TestNG jar files are downloaded. Okay, so let me show you again. So if you delete this, one second, remove from build path, it is removed now. Now if I click Control S, automatically that Maven dependency file plugin will be added. So Control S, one second, what happens? We have to update the project. Yeah, here you can see Maven dependencies. Okay, and here you see TestNG jar files. Okay, so this is how you can add dependency in your test. So this is one dependency. In the next video I'll talk about I will create one Maven project, or I'll use the same project and I'll create some test cases, and we'll see how to execute test cases using Maven. Here you can see, if you right click on project and Maven, sorry, run as we have these options, right? Maven build, okay, Maven clean, Maven install, Maven generated sources, Maven test. Okay, so how to use these different commands I'll show you in the next video. Okay, so let me just recap. So today we have just seen the introduction of Maven, and we have seen how to set up Maven in your Eclipse. Okay, and this is the post which I have created. You can go through this and you can refer the other blogs, other posts which I have created in my blog. Okay, Selenium tutorials. Already I have covered Selenium WebDriver and TestNG tutorials, and Java for Selenium, and some other topics as well. Recently I have added Selenium Java questions as well, so you can go through this. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe this channel. Thanks a lot. Bye.